Yeah, doing well. Yeah, thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
No worries, bro. Thanks for inviting me. I'm stoked to be here.
Oh, sick. Yeah, good to hear. Where are you right now? Are you in Sri Lanka?
Currently in Sri Lanka. Oh, the camera's tracing it, but I got the Sri Lanka t-shirt on.
Oh, sick, sick. Epic,
And
man.
you in Nicaragua?
Nicaragua, yeah. Yeah, I've been living here for
Oh,
like 2 years now.
that's so cool. What a dream. Hey, I've always wanted to visit. Looks so sick.
Yeah, it's really epic, really worth it.
That
Yeah, you've never made it down here, huh?
No, that's where the boom is, right?
Yeah, so the boom is up in like northern Nicaragua. I'm staying in Popoyo, which is like a few hours down the coast, but yeah, really the whole coastline is like super solid waves. So, but yeah, the
Yeah, when I
boom,
was going through your content, I was like, man, these waves look sick. So fun.
well, the really crazy ones were in Indo,
Okay.
but definitely some fun waves in Nika. Not quite Indo level, but yeah, fun beach breaks and a few reef breaks, stuff like that.
And way less people.
Way less people, yeah. Yeah, you can find some peaks here all to yourself, which is fun.
And crocodiles?
I've never seen one. People say they're here, but I've been lucky. I have to cross a river to get to the main break every day, and
Okay.
so far I've made it back. So
Nice. And has there been reported attacks in that river before?
no, I think there's like it's kind of like a legend people say to keep people out of the water, to keep it a little bit less crowded. That
Yeah.
the crocs get hungry, but I don't know. I
So
haven't
what you
seen it.
should be telling me is every day you see them
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
taking out
And
dogs and
I guess people are gonna
birds.
be watching this, huh? So yeah, actually, yeah, one of my friends, RIP, he got eaten the other day, so don't come to town.
I believed you for a moment there. Got really
Bro,
dark.
yeah, yeah. Um, all right, sweet man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So I'm just gonna throw like two surf clips up for you, and any sort
Okay.
of like coaching advice, tips you would give, just feel free to let me know. And then yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. And
Is it you?
so, it's of me, yeah. Yeah, these are
Okay,
my
sweet. Let's
clips.
go.
Yeah, sweet. Um, shit. So this first one from a few months ago, and just can you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah, sick. All right, so I'll play it through and then we can go slow mo or whatever.
a little bit glitchy, but it seems to be working. Oh, sick wave. Got the little look to the beach claim.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I was shocked. I just kept standing up, so I had to let the filmer know. But yeah, I'll just go slower through.
Okay,
Gotta take off
tell me what you liked about the wave.
Yeah, for sure. So I really liked the first bottom turn and second top turn. It just felt really good. I like here how I stayed compressed, and I've been working on getting that left hand sort of like almost to drag on that wave when I come down in the bottom turn.
Yeah,
Um, and then I thought everything was sort of good through there. And then on the top turn, I think I hit a really good part of the wave and got that nice spray. But I just didn't quite rotate the way that's just sort of what I'm working on now is like really trying to bring that back arm and just my torso hips all the way through instead of
yeah,
almost just like this was almost like I just kind of hit the brakes and then kept going instead of like really fully
yeah.
completing the turn.
A few things stand out for me. It looks like you approached it in a really nice critical moment where you're coming up. The first thing I actually noticed right here is can you go
Yeah.
back a few slides?
Yep.
Right here. This is super important. It's such a small little tip that can make the world of a difference. Like as you put your hands on the rail, so go like one or two steps forward, a little
Hmm.
bit more here. you need to make sure that your chin's lifted and you're looking to the far right of the screen at what the lip line's doing at this moment. And that's
Mhm.
going to make you feel like you have so much more time as you go into the wave because you're going to be able to predict what's happening and you're not going to like stand up, set your line, and then look which line's the best line to take, right? So here you're really seeing, okay, this lip line is going to maybe require a little bit more of a like down the line movement rather than a straight bottom turn, top turn, which is where I noticed your first kind of off rhythm movement, which was at first it was super nice how you came in so critical, but at that moment you almost hit like a little bump. The wave hit like a little bump, and then it almost looked a little bit too steep for what you were the turn that you were kind of in the top turn that you were kind of anticipating. So it
Right.
looked like your timing was a little bit off to like you see there, it was like you were kind of right under the lip, and it didn't really give you that space to kind of lay into it. And I think it just comes down to that really simple thing that when you're in the up dog and you have the glide of the wave, to
Yeah.
just make sure that you look and you
Right.
set the line. You could watch it that specifically and repeat with any pro surfer, and you'll notice that they're lifting the chin regardless of if it's a slow wave or a fast wave, and they're reading and they're anticipating the first movement or just really exactly like kind of getting this idea of what they want to do on the wave before they're even standing up, you know?
Totally,
And
man.
that's such a small thing that you can change that can honestly make the world of a difference. And you can see there how you're slightly mistimed on the turn. And
Yeah,
I swear if you had looked there, you would have been in the part that you wanted to be in.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a good point, man. Um I've never even considered that. But something that I've definitely noticed is just how critical like things at the beginning of the wave are. Because in surfing, I find that everything kind of builds on each other and it's all momentum. So as soon as like,
Exactly.
so like for me, it's just been really like sticking my feet on my pop up is like when I pop up and stick it, the rest of the wave, it just enables like so much more in this like almost exponential like progress can be made as opposed to like you're fumbling, you're finding your feet at this stage, or you're not looking at the line like you
Exactly.
said, and then it's just like so hard to try and
Exactly.
regain
It's
it.
like we build a rhythm starting from the very beginning of the wave. And the rest of the wave will dictate that rhythm, that flow that we find immediately. So the hardest thing is to start a little off rhythm and then
Mm.
try to regather rhythm in the wave. So that's why there's so much emphasis that needs to be put on the takeoff, on looking, on finding the glide and the kind of structure that you have from actually 5 seconds, 10 seconds before you even standing up. That's where the real like kind of coaching per se or strategy begins on getting the exact positioning, finding the perfect spot, looking, finding the glide, your pop-up technique to engaging the rail to then standing up. And do you stand up maybe too straight and then you have to compress again and you waste a little bit of movement, which doesn't
Hmm.
look too bad at all here, but it's just everything needs to be considered up until this point where you're on right now in the video for sure.
Yeah, totally, man. And it's just it comes down to like one thing you said was just like wasted movement or inefficient movement. And the few times I've gotten the chance to surf with pro surfers, the biggest thing that sticks out to me is that every movement they have is so precise and nothing goes to waste. Like obviously they are incredible athletes and whatnot, but that's not really what makes them like world class. It's like every single movement that they have is to do something. And it's almost like the more I've developed in surfing, I've just been trying to like quiet everything down, less movement, and that's
Exactly.
that's been that's been, helpful for me.
That's super well said. It's like that's really style, like if you look at the two contrasts of a beautiful style and a bad style is like way overdoing things with your body. and
Yeah.
like your arms are going everywhere. You're moving up and down, compression, extension, and
Right,
you look
right,
quite
right.
wild. I don't know if you've seen like I like the
Yeah.
video we
Your
actually made on
videos,
this.
bro, they're
Just like
great. They're so good.
it's it's like an exaggeration of like the
Yeah.
contrast of bad,
Right,
and
right,
then you
right.
look at like the best, and it's like their body position doesn't actually change much at all because they're so good at harnessing the wave energy, which is like
Mm.
really what it means to me to be a better surfer is finding speed through just tapping into what the wave energy is, you know? And then obviously then we can add more to it and use our body, but the key is just to tap into the wave's energy.
Yeah, 100%. And something that you told me in the comments the other night was to hop on a big, don't be afraid to hop on bigger boards.
Mm,
And when you're talking about the wave energy, because I actually, so last night for sunset, I did that. And yeah, just the sh and I would do it a few times, but just sort of more for fun, never really thinking about like for surf improvement or whatever. And yeah, the amount of surface area of the wave I could harness with a bigger board, it was like a 7.5 foot foamy board, and it just unlocked so many different parts of the wave that I could hop up on, harness the energy deeper than I regularly could, and then by the time the wave would actually form, I was already standing up and like just made the whole experience way more fun, way easier. And
yeah.
yeah, it's so for anyone watching at home, uh, yeah, take out a bigger board because you can,
It's just a
yeah,
fun thing to have. One thing
yeah, it's
now
just
that you're
fun.
like kind of pausing on these moments right here, um, the like one of the key concepts that I try to teach my students is like how to or being aware of engaging the inside rail. And there's a few things that really help with that. One is positioning, two is paddle efficiency, three is looking because where you look is where you're gonna go. You got four, which is now leaning where you are right now, already on your left side, so the rail's starting to engage. But if you go slowly, you're gonna notice as you're popping up here,
Hmm.
you see it went on the outside rail, and you went on a flat part of your surfboard, which creates a deeper sense of friction, and you're not going to knife in to find that faster line straight off the takeoff. And obviously,
Hmm.
it differs if the wave's a little bit slower and stuff. But
Yeah,
here again, you can see you just maybe a millimeter or two behind to really get in the pocket of that wave.
right.
Um,
Meaning in this
what
frame,
a Yeah,
I
I'll go
I
back
sh
a few frames.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So here you're good. You can see your inside rail engaged. Now go
Yep. Yep.
a frame forward. There was a moment where the surfboard went
Oh,
outside rail, inside
yeah,
rail,
yeah, yeah.
and that kind of like would have dragged you down a little bit. And there's one thing that I think can really help with this, and it comes back to actually the looking. When you're looking, ideally you're doing it from a upward facing dog position with straight arms, whereas you notice when you get the glide, you're in still a bent arm cobra like position if you understand yoga postures here.
Yeah.
Whereas as soon as you get the glide, you want to go straight arms and then look and chill. You can spend a sufficient amount of time with straight arms looking and chilling, as opposed to here, you have one extra movement, which is the push up, that
Yeah.
requires a physical strength. And as you're pushing up, it's a lot harder to control the rail of your surfboard through that moment because you're doing an explosive strengthening movement
Right.
rather than already having done that movement the moment you get the glide without the pressure of standing up at the same time, engaging the inside rail, setting your line, understanding your line, and then cruising down the wave.
Interesting.
Watch
Very
this, like
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
try to put your video in parallel with any pro surfer and put them on
Hmm.
top of each other and just pay attention to the look and the when you're chilling with the straight arms or the bent arms position, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I'm visualizing it. That makes total sense. And yeah, just one less movement at like a critical part of the wave makes total sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, you're going to feel like a little bit more time.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Nothing really stands out for me here. I think the main points that we thought about were kind of explored already. The timing was slightly off, and what you're saying about the front arm is definitely what I noticed in the next turn that we can discuss in a moment.
Yeah.
But because you were so tight, it's really hard to readjust the arm positioning and stuff, and everything feels like a little bit intense in that moment, just because it is like
Yeah.
bit tight for the type of turn you were wanting to do, which I imagine is like a G-force kind of open face carving turn, which is like the best turn you can do, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, cool.
Continue, continue forward a little.
Yeah.
And here, there with that right arm is like if you can reach that up to the top left corner of the screen. You'll watch. There's a video online of George Pitar doing it, and I don't know if I said his name right. And he is
Yeah.
so good with that helping of the rotation to open up. But another small thing, firstly, I should have mentioned before, it's a sick turn. You super on rail, you're in the pocket, and you're going faster as you're doing the turn, which is super sick. But you can also be looking a little bit more to follow the turn a bit more. And what will help your vision move a little bit more critical to the pocket is allowing that right arm of yours or your front arm to continue to reach up.
Hmm.
And if I have to get really technical, I'm giving you a lot of information here.
Yeah, I know.
The
It's good.
back, the back arms straightening out like that. And if you just look, if you try to understand it from a movement perspective, I'm trying to look at like almost the top left corner of the screen,
Yeah.
but the spine won't rotate if one arm's reaching towards the right side of the screen,
Yeah.
and that's the right arm. So the ideal position is, you probably heard it before, it's like the coffee cup hand. So if you take your cup of coffee in your left arm, make sure it's a little lower than your shoulder. Keep the arm bent like you're almost about to take a sip, and that will
Oh.
keep it from moving back behind you and kind of giving you two opposing forces with your arms as you're surfing.
Yeah, totally, man. Um, yeah,
But
it's
that's micro. I would say that would be like for your next surf, I'd just focus on upward facing dog looking. That would
yeah.
be it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then as you're doing your turn, the I would say the front arm leading the way would make a huge difference.
Yeah,
Then you can think about the back arm. And
sure.
somewhere thrown in between all of this is actually getting a little bit more compressed on that bottom turn, finding a little bit more potential energy.
Yeah,
As you can see here,
totally.
there's definitely a lot more that could be captivated through compression, a lot more energy. And
100%,
just
man.
really overdoing it, I think, is like where it's at. A lot of the time, like surfing, we develop these habits, and everything that we do just becomes so natural to us. So, with anything, with any change that you're going to do in your surfing, it's going to feel really unnatural. So,
Mm,
you have to go to a place that makes you feel really weird and maybe awkward and doesn't feel right, obviously with the feedback of video, and then see how that looks. But so often of the time, like really exaggerating it, even if it feels really weird, will way quicker put you in the sweet spot rather than like doing small bit, small bit, small bit, small bit. Try to go way to the other end, and then it's easier to meet a little in the middle, in the sweet spot.
totally. Totally, yeah. Yeah, cool, man. And then that's pretty much just whitewater there. Epic. Yeah, that's really good stuff with my front side there. And I liked how you said just on your like next surf, try and focus on one thing. That's something that, I definitely agree with. There's so much information that we can try and like give ourselves, but then the second you get out there, it's like you really got to focus on one thing because it's like
Yeah,
maybe one to two things because everything it's just surfing is too much sensory overload to really have too many things in your mind to actually like, reasonably make a change. Um,
100%.
on your next serve. And then, yeah, this one will go, this is a backside. I think I get like one top turn in here. But yeah, I'll just play it through.
Nice. And what did you like about that one?
I think the drop felt pretty good. So like the entry into this wave felt really nice. I was able to get some speed like right off the bat. Um, and then yeah, just in general, my like it just feels way more awkward going backside and less natural. Particularly this movement here. So the backside bottom turn for me is quite tricky. I think when I surf well, I can get my backside top turn actually feels quite nice because for me that's sort of like swinging a tennis racket or a golf club or something like that.
In this frame right here, what do you
Yep.
think is your biggest limiting factor for getting a little bit more vertical and feeling a little bit more naturally kind of open to the wave?
I think
As
it's
you can see it again here.
yeah.
There's two main things that I can see here that would make a big difference.
Yeah, my stance and specifically my back leg, like my back left leg, having that leg is bowed out and that sort of just like kind of locks up my whole body, I feel like. Um, and then with that, I would say also um just not being like square as in like having my shoulders and hips be sort of facing more forward towards the nose of the board. It's like I'm
Yeah, exactly.
everything's pointed, into the shore essentially. Yeah.
And like you were saying, it's kind of like I find a lot of the time, like we do one little small error, and then there's like a ripple effect that kind of that that happens from one little thing. So as you mentioned, well noticed is that back knee kind of pointing backwards.
Mm.
If you stop, if you go a little bit more forward,
Yep.
right here, stop
Yep.
where like a meter or two to where that bird is where we're trying to look to where we a meter or two to the right of where that bird is where ideally where or maybe a meter is ideally where we try, yeah, exactly where the cursor was there
Yeah,
is
gotcha.
exactly. I would go up on the lip.
Yeah,
Yes, right
right
there.
here. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the section ideally that you're wanting to smash, right? To get
Right.
vertical and to hit. And then if we look at it from a movement perspective, where we look is where we're going to go. And it's so difficult right now for you to actually get a full grasp or a full gaze or vision on that section. Because, firstly, as you mentioned, the back knee is pointing out. From a movement perspective, it's really hard to find spinal rotation with your knee facing in that direction. So, as you said, if you could drop that knee a little bit, the ability to rotate your spine is going to be so much greater. And then, quite similar with your front side, is that front arm. You can see how it's across your body, and that's going to be, again, just quite awkward and hard to get to that place. So you'll notice all the pros at this point right here, they're going to have that right hand touching or reaching down to the water, allowing the body to rotate, the board to get a little bit more on rail, and then for you to take on that vision of that lip, which you are looking at right now, but you can just see that front arms kind of across your body and your spine's not really rotating. So it's going to be really hard for you to get those more extreme angles of attacking and hitting the lip more vertical. And everything might feel a little bit more awkward than your front side, which is naturally body exposed to where you're going.
Totally. Totally, man. Yeah, I think
Yeah, now we had one moment of the front arm in that really nice position, but then exactly like
yeah,
there,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
a little bit late. And I
Right.
feel like if I have to say one more thing, it would just be you'll notice where you're doing the bottom turn, you can see your wake line.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of at the bottom of the wave, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely doing a bit more of a lower U-turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, is going to then give yourself more time and space to approach the lip at a different angle rather than a kind of flat one, it can feel like everything's kind of happening quite suddenly as well.
Totally, man. Um, and yeah, I really liked what you said about having the vision of the wave on the backside. That's something I think if I had to pick one thing that makes my backside surfing more uncomfortable than my frontside surfing, is that just my vision is and not being able to see the wave. And when you can't see the wave, it's like you're screwed because that's how you plan everything, you know?
Yeah, right. It's
And
like one of the golden rules that we have in coaching is like where you look is where you're gonna go.
yeah, no,
And
100%.
the body aspect of that in terms of rotation and arm positioning has so much to do with just creating an arm positioning and spinal rotation that allows you to look at the wave at tighter angles and whatever. But it all depends on how you're wanting to surf as well, because maybe you're not that interested in smacking the lip at 12
Sure.
o'clock or whatever. So no.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
looks like you're trying to though. It looks like
I'm
you're going
trying my
for
best,
that.
bro. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in trying, but yeah, it doesn't
One
always
thing that I
happen.
love as well is like if you could imagine if you go back like halfway through your bottom turn,
Hmm.
here a little bit more forward. Okay, here. So to get vertical, I love the analogy of like doing a tennis slam with your right hand. So it's
Hmm.
or like a serve. So you'd be throwing the tennis ball up right now, and then
Right.
reaching your right hand up towards the lip, and then you that'll open up your body a little bit more, and the board will follow that angle. And then as you finish the turn. Or as you're coming through the turn, then you slam the tennis ball down and you end in like a nice low crouch
Yeah.
position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Because you can also see here, because you've of everything we've mentioned before, you start rotating a little bit earlier because you've kind of come in a bit flat because your
Yeah.
body hasn't allowed you to open. You can see if you go a few frames forward, we're already starting to transition from inside rail now to outside rail with a little bit of a counter rotation of the body. Um, so I think if you had to think about keeping that front arm nice and open from the
Yeah.
bottom turn, it would help, and going a little bit deeper, it would
Yeah.
help you keep a really nice neutral body position as you come into the top turn as well.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. Yeah, sweet, man. And then this was, yeah, nothing special there. Yeah. Yeah, it makes you appreciate just like good surfing. Um, like I'm someone, so I learned to surf, say, the first time I touched a board was like 5 years ago, and then these past 2 years, I've really been, I like, yeah, moved to a surf place, and I've just been in the water nearly every day. Um,
So
and when you like, if I put myself in my position 5 years ago, it's like you don't, the pros just make it look so easy, and you just assume like, oh yeah, that's just how you do it, you know?
yeah,
And it's like everything just works and you just hit the wave there and whatever. And then, yeah, seeing myself and then, obviously watching pros all day is like, man, it's just so impressive. Like everything. Everything has to be correct in order for surfing to look good, you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's also why it's like nice, just like taking this kind of because even if you're not like the best surfer, like I love watching surfers that are just like fully tuned into the wave energy. They've taken a step back from this kind of performance-based approach and they're
Yeah.
just tapping into wave energy. Maybe it's through like a more alternative surfboard craft or a twin fin, and they're
Yeah.
just really flowing. And then things can look really great from that perspective, you know. But I think like what happens is we have this kind of go-getter approach of like, let me just go from zero to hero, whether that's
Yeah.
getting on a short board or trying to go more vertical than what you've learned, and things can maybe look like a little out of place. Like, but I think you're shredding 5 years in, 2 years focused on it, and it looks like you come from a really athletic background, and now you're super dedicated to the sport. So good job, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. That's cool to hear from you. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I think the cool thing about like harnessing, like you said, harnessing the wave energy is like I think that's what brings everyone into surfing is like how cool waves are. It's not like how cool surfers are. Like it's
Yeah.
the wave is like the cool part of this whole thing. So, nah, couldn't agree more. And
And I think a good testament for that is like the froth happens when you're just watching a perfect wave, regardless whether a surfer's riding it or
yeah,
not.
yeah,
Most of the time, the surfer doesn't reach the wave's potential. So it's like, oh, you could have done this or this. But if you're just watching a beautiful wave without anyone, it's like, then you
yeah,
can visualize the blank canvas and what the potential is of that.
yeah.
Whether I hit it or not, it doesn't matter. At least it's in my mind, you know?
Dude, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing like more special than if you're watching just like an unridden set wave out the back. Like, like no one's in position, no one's on it, and it's just like peeling. It's like, wow. Like, it's just, yeah, it's all in your
Exactly.
head. Yeah, you don't have a surfer on there to like corrupt it in a
Yeah,
way. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah. Well, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And yeah, I've been following your account for probably like 4 or 5 years at this point. So yeah, super stoked on it. And yeah, if you want, you can tell everyone sort of where they can go to get in touch with you for coaching and to get a session like this. And if you're in Sri Lanka, where to hit you up. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I've got a website. It's www.jacobmellish.com. You can book similar sessions to this online with on my platform. I use a cool video coaching application, and then I put everything side by side and show you like examples of what you could be doing with like hopefully someone really relatable. Otherwise, I offer coaching here in Sri Lanka. You can book everything through my online, and I've just started a really cool thing that I'm hoping is going to change uh, a little bit of the coaching industry in the long run, as well as just surfers stoked to watch their videos. And it's a platform called Get Snaps with a Z at the end, and it just allows photographers to connect to surfers through time, date, location. And soon we'll have AI integrated, so you can find yourself through surfboard, facial recognition, and board short recognition, filing your photos quite
Sick.
easily. And I think that will be a big game changer for surfers and obviously photographers,
Yeah.
providing more opportunity. But from a coaching point of view, just allow it. Like, how often are you on the beach and you see a photographer
Yeah.
and then you never see them again, or you don't get your shots, and the photographer's lost out on income, and the surfer's lost out on the ability to receive his clip and understand what he looks like, which is one of the biggest factors for improving, is just watching videos of yourself over and over again. So we're launching that now in Sri Lanka, and it's really exciting. It's been like a year in the process of
Yeah.
working on it, and let's see how far we can take it, because I feel like it can add so much value to surfers and to photographers. So go like that one. It's on
Yeah.
Instagram. Get snaps with the Z at the end. Get got snaps on Instagram, and yeah, I'd appreciate all the support on that one for sure.
Sick, man. That seems super cool. Maybe I'll have you back sometime and we'll get an update on that. Because that seems like the sickest project ever.
Yeah,
I know
right.
everyone would love that, photographers and surfers alike. So, yeah, man,
Yeah,
cool.
so we're focusing in Sri Lanka for the next few months, and once we started establishing something here, then it's Bali, Maldives, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and kind of expanding to all the main surf destinations around the world, and that's really the goal.
Yeah, sick, man. That is so neat. Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you for coming on. And
No worries. Cheers, Patrick. Hope
yeah,
that helped you, bro.
yeah,
See you
thanks,
later,
man.
dude.
See ya.
No worries. Cheers.